Hey guys, today I'm reviewing the film Z For Zachariah. It was directed by Craig Zobel and written by Nissar. So Z For Zachariah is a very small premise. It's about two people who meet in the aftermath of a nuclear holocaust, and they try to build a life together even though they have opposing worldviews. And then a third character is thrown into the mix to kind of shake things up. So let's get right to it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. The one word I would use to describe this film is intense. There was so much tension in each scene, you could cut it with a knife. The three actors, Margot Robbie, Chiwetel Ejiofor, and Chris Pine, all did a great job. And they had a different dynamic in each scene, like depending on the combination of characters that were together. So it was very interesting to watch and see how everyone spoke to each other, what they said, what they didn't get to say. The most surprising performance was from Margot Robbie, who's basically the lead character and the protagonist in the film. You see the story from her perspective. I haven't actually gotten a chance to see Margot Robbie in a starring role before, but she actually does a really great job. And the film does has a really interesting take on what it would be like if modern men and women were thrown back into a more primitive agrarian type of society. The script was really intense and keeps you very intrigued even though there's not a lot happening on the screen. This is absolutely the type of film where you identify so much with the characters that you want to see if they'll react to the situations the way you would. I actually found myself speaking out loud in the theater trying to see if they'd actually listen to me, kind of like a horror film. So I guess there is kind of a horror element to it because they are in this dystopia and you don't really know what's going to happen. So pacing wise, I think that the movie was edited very well. I think it moves at a leisurely pace, but it does a great job building up to a climax with each scene. The cinematography was also a strength because the landscapes in the movie were incredibly beautiful. If you've ever seen Lord of the Rings, you know New Zealand's the place to shoot, and this movie was shot in New Zealand, so you get all that great quality imagery. And the subtle score had a lot of really thoughtful themes that weren't too overbearing, but at the same time, it was noticeable enough that you could appreciate it. Now the bad. There wasn't a lot to dislike about this movie, but one thing in particular that bothered me from the very beginning was this blue cast that was over the picture. I don't think this is the fault of the cinematographer, but more of an issue with the color timing during post-production. I guess someone thought that it would make the film look a little more bleak if it was tinted blue, but if that's the case, they should have shot it somewhere a little less scenic. I kept wanting to do color correction throughout the film and kind of bring out the vivid colors that we were missing. I enjoyed the edit, but the beginning is a little slow and it takes you a while to understand what's going on. I do think that this was sort of an intentional thing, so it's not really a bad thing, but I'm getting a little nitpicky here. So I'll skip right to the ugly because there wasn't a lot I found bad with it. The ugly part about this film is that it poses a lot of uncomfortable questions to the audience, namely what baggage we would take with us to a life when there are no societal expectations or pressures. There are issues of gender roles, race, savagery versus civility, and faith versus science. The characters have to decide what they want to hold on to and what they want to sacrifice in order to rebuild and survive. So final rundown, I give this film a 1. I say definitely go see it. I think it's a really strong movie. I don't think it's going to be nominated for anything or win any awards, but it's really a great film to see, and I think it'll give you a lot to think about afterwards because it's such a personal sort of story. I think everyone can sort of identify with these characters and what they're going through. So definitely check it out. Be sure to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. If you liked the video, thumbs up. If you didn't like it, thumbs down. And I'll see you next time. Bye.